In the dark and freezing year of 536 AD, the world was dying. The sun was pale, the crops failed, and a terrifying cold gripped the earth. In their desperation, 20,000 terrified souls fled the surface, escaping an apocalypse they could not understand. They didn't just hide in simple caves. They carrying their children, their livestock, and their hopes deep into the pitch-black earth. Step by step, they descended into a massive, hand-carved labyrinth, leaving the sunlight behind, perhaps forever. What they entered was not a temporary shelter. It was Derinkuyu, a colossal, multi-layered subterranean city, carved from solid volcanic rock. How did they survive in the deep? How did they breathe? Today we unlock the gates of history's most mysterious underground world. In 1963, in the quiet province of Cappadocia, Turkey, a simple man decided to renovate his home. He knocked down a dark stone wall in his basement, expecting only dust. Instead, he opened a portal to another world. As his flashlight pierced the darkness, he saw an endless labyrinth of tunnels carved directly into the volcanic rock. Chisel marks from thousands of years ago still fresh on the walls, leading deeper and deeper into the dark earth. Archaeologists rushed to the scene, and what they found shocked the world. This wasn't a basement or a burial tomb. It was a legendary underground metropolis, built to shelter an entire civilization from the terrors of the surface. To understand Derinkuyu, you must understand its engineering. This wasn't just digging. It was precise vertical planning, dropping down over 18 stories into the earth. It was designed with thousands of ventilation shafts ensuring fresh air reached the lowest levels. Walking through these tunnels reveals a vertical labyrinth, massive carved steps, stone bridges connecting hidden quarters, and complex water systems fed by deep underground wells. It was a fully functional megastructure. Every floor had a purpose. There were residential quarters, churches, schools, and vast storage rooms for oil and wine. It is estimated that up to 20,000 people could live here for months, completely cut off from the surface world. To create Derinkuyu, ancient humans had to wage a silent war against the stone. Armed with only simple copper and bronze chisels, thousands of workers carved out massive pillars directly from the living rock. This wasn't just brute force. It required mathematical precision. One wrong strike could collapse an entire hall. Yet they sculpted massive arches and detailed engravings that still stand firm today. The final result was an underground cathedral of stone, gigantic pillars supporting vast chambers, illuminated only by torches and narrow rays of light breaking through the ceilings. A breathtaking masterpiece born from darkness. To survive months cut off from the world, water was everything. Derinkuyu's engineers dug massive secret ventilation and water wells, reaching directly to the underground water tables, completely hidden from enemies above. Beneath the living quarters lay these breathtaking sunken cisterns, vast underground reservoirs surrounded by towering stone columns, holding enough pure water to sustain an entire civilization in times of siege. These wells were carefully designed so they couldn't be poisoned from the surface. They were the ultimate lifeline, ensuring that while an enemy marched above, an entire city thrived in the shadows below. Life in the shadows demanded immense resilience. Day after day, women and men labored in the dim torchlight, drawing every drop of survival from the deep, silent belly of the earth. Every wall, every niche, and every narrow passageway was meticulously carved with a purpose. These stone corridors weren't just paths. They were tactical labyrinths, designed to confuse and trap any intruder. Left behind on these cold walls are the markings of a people who refuse to be conquered. In the heart of Derinkuyu, they carved out a testament to human survival that would endure for centuries. Deep within the stone matrix, communal kitchens burned day and night. Here, the aroma of fresh bread mixed with heavy smoke as vast ventilation shafts carried the fumes safely to the surface. Adjacent to the hearths were the massive storage chambers. Hundreds of clay amphorae and jars stood guarded by the cold stone, preserving wheat, oil, and wine for months of endless siege. This was not just temporary shelter, it was a fully functional, subsurface economy. Every jar was a lifeline, carefully rationed to ensure that despair would never conquer the people of the dark. Deep in the lower levels, massive stone wheels crushed olives and grapes. This oil did not just fuel their diet. It was the light that burned in their lamps, keeping the absolute darkness at bay. But survival required more than bread and oil. It demanded the preservation of the mind. In cold, rock-hewn halls, elders taught the young, passing down secrets and knowledge by the flickering light of torches. Under thousands of tons of earth, their faith and culture remained untouched by the conquerors above. Generations were born, raised, and educated in the shadows, never forgetting who they were. When danger breached the surface, the underworld transformed into an impenetrable fortress. Massive, wheel-shaped stone doors weighing up to half a ton stood ready to seal the corridors. Designed with absolute precision, these monoliths could only be rolled and locked from the inside. Once closed, They turned every passageway into a dead end for the invaders. Even if an enemy bypassed one barrier, they found themselves trapped in a dark, suffocating maze waiting for an ambush. In this city, stone was not just a shelter, it was a weapon. Beyond the heavy stone doors lay a complex maze of turning corridors. These winding paths were deliberately engineered to disorient invaders, stripping them of their numbers and tactical advantage. The central holes in the stone wheels were not flawless mistakes. They were deadly vantage points. Through these narrow openings, silent sentinels watched the shadows, ready to strike anything that moved. In the heart of the mountain, a hidden army stood watch over their families. They did not seek war, but inside this stone sanctuary, they ensured that any intrusion would be met with swift, unseen justice. Deep within the suffocating darkness, the underground city held its most sacred secret. Massive churches and cruciform chapels, carved straight out of the living stone, offered a sanctuary, not just for the body, but for the soul. Even without the sun, their faith glowed in vivid colors. Masterful frescoes of saints and sacred symbols covered the arched ceilings, surviving centuries of humidity, siege, and total isolation. Ancient Greek inscriptions, scratched into the walls, tell a story of endurance. In these low-lit caverns, surrounded by burning candles, the echoes of their prayers became the very pillars holding up the mountain. Derinkuyu was not just a sanctuary for the living. It was a final resting place for those who never saw the sun again. Deep inside, entire chambers were carved out to serve as sacred tombs. In these shadow-drenched chapels, grief was met with prayer. Families knelt before stone altars, lighting candles for the departed, refusing to let the darkness of the earth swallow their hope. Etched above the graves, ancient letters read words of eternal peace. Even blockaded hundreds of feet below, they buried their dead with dignity, leaving behind a testament of undying faith. When the danger finally passed and the besiegers retreated into the pages of history, the underground city opened its massive stone doors. The survivors emerged from the suffocating darkness, stepping once again into the blinding light of freedom. They looked back at the mountains that had hidden them. These unique rock formations, known today as the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia, were not just natural wonders, but the protective shells of a resilient civilization. Today, the underground mazes remain silent, but the valleys above carry their eternal echo, a masterpiece of human adaptation where the boundary between nature and architecture completely vanished. Centuries later, the depths that once concealed thousands of frightened souls now welcome travelers from around the globe. Modern eyes stare into the abyss, marveling at the sheer scale of human endurance. Derinkuyu remains a living monument, a testament to a time when humanity chose to bend the stone rather than break under oppression. Every tunnel, every stone door whispers a story of survival against all odds. As the sun rises over Cappadocia, painting the sky with colors of peace, the dark shadows of the underground dissolve. For time may erode the rocks, but it can never erase the stories carved into the heart of the earth.